David says your process for topically mapping out website architecture seems extremely logical and well thought out. Any chance you could build a tool to automate the process given a URL and some business data like services, service area, etc., or perhaps just offer it as a one-shot service that you provide? I would love to, but I'm not a developer, and every time I've ever tried to hire development stuff, I've struggled. And so honestly, I don't have any bandwidth for anything anywhere near that right now, not even managing a development project for a tool like that. So I appreciate the question, but certainly it's not in the immediate term for sure. My biggest goal right now, I got two big goals. One is growing my own agency, which is the testing, my own local SEO agency, which is the testing ground for the DHA stuff for what we're developing, and then the DHA program. So those are my two biggest priorities right now, really the DHA program, but I'm using my own agency as the proving ground for that, if that makes sense. So those are my biggest goals this year, is growing my own agency and thereby growing the DHA program, if that's clear. So stuff like this. Now, look, I give some high level recommendations for topic maps, essentially for websites through my audit process, which I do for link building clients or for people that purchase an audit, which is $149. But and it's very manual. There's no, I don't know how else to do it. So I would love to automate it, but I don't know how to do it, and I don't have the bandwidth to even manage a project to get it done. So it's literally, I have to do it manually, and I do not have the bandwidth to do that for a bunch of people. But that's the point of the audits, is I teach people how to do it in the audit because I show them, and I'm very, very detailed. Anybody that's ever purchased an audit from me knows that, right? Like, I go to great lengths to make sure that I'm not just telling you do this and you'll get better results. I want to explain, I tell you why. This is why we're doing this, because I want you to learn it so that you don't have to rely on me or wait for some tool to come out to do it. You can do it yourself. And again, it's a very manual process, guys. It is time consuming. But I think it's important, if you're going to be working in an industry as a marketer, not just in SEO, but as a marketer, you should get to understand the industry. And what a better way to understand the industry than to really start to study the language associated, the topics and entities associated with the industry. And look at Wikipedia for clues on how to structure the pages and the site structure of the site that you're going to build in that industry. Because again, if you look at the language, you can start to understand how Google understands the language, the topics associated with that industry, and then look at the internal linking on Wikipedia to see how those topics relate to each other. And that gives you some clues as to how to structure not only individual pages on the site, but the structure of the site in its entirety. Because if you can model kind of the structure, the hierarchy of the topics and subtopics as Google understands them, which you can gain a lot of insight from studying Wikipedia, is what I'm saying. Then it becomes it's more efficient to optimize that way, and it's almost like it makes it easier for the Googlebot to understand because it's familiar, because that's how it understands those topics and how those topics and subtopics relate to each other, if that's clear. So that's, again, I totally recommend that you do spend some time doing that. You're right. I understand if wanting a tool for that, especially if you're in 15 different industries, because imagine trying to do that process for every industry. It's very difficult, very time consuming, which is precisely why I keep pitching to everybody that will listen, niche down, because then you can go really deep into this kind of level of understanding in one industry, and you will have an edge over 99% of the other marketers in that industry because you understand this at such a deep level. And that's why I don't have tools for this. I just do it manually for the reasons I just described. Okay. Great question. I appreciate it very much. And I would love to have a tool like that. Hey, there you go. Somebody else out here that listens or watches this at some point that has development chops, there's a tool right there for you. I promise you, if somebody can develop that tool or has a concept for developing a tool and has the uh, has the skills to be able to execute that, reach out to us at Semantic Mastery for real. We'd be happy to entertain a conversation about it. But there would be a market for that tool, I promise you.